I hope you've had some time to spend sewing on the Bernina 790 Plus sewing machine, but today it is time to jump in and get your embroidery unit out of the box, get it attached, and then start working through our basic videos that will help you understand your screen and get you embroidering right away. But before I get started, I want to remind you that we have an amazing online course called the Embroidery Essentials online course. This course, you're going to join me as we work through 15 different embroidery techniques. If you want to master this machine the fastest, this course is the one for you. We're going to do all sorts of techniques like cut work and tile seams and applique and quilting, and all these designs are included in the course. So we are going to go step by step. You'll get to do a lace design, which, by the way, there are lace designs in this machine, make a small wall hanging, or just get comfortable with the machine. This is like having appetizers. If you love appetizers, you will get to try out lots of different flavors and then find out which ones you love, and the repetition that you will be doing by hooping and selecting designs and starting a design with each with a little different story ending. That is what's going to help you work through this machine. So like I said, we're going to reference this. There's links below this YouTube video where you can check out the Embroidery Essentials course and see if it is right for you. So here's what we have so far. Number one, you do need to make sure that the machine is on a very sturdy surface. Anything that's going to wiggle once the hoops start working, that could be a little problematic. So make sure that you have a workstation that is sufficient. So easy to find your unit. Just set it right beside the machine, and you'll see that these little arms are really just going to tip in to the edge of the machine. Just slide it in and set it down. That's as easy as it is. If your machine is in the sewing mode, you'll be able to just touch the home button and touch the picture of the hoop. That's an easy way to toggle between both the sewing and the embroidery part of this machine. So remember, everything that is yellow is something you need to do. So the very first screen is going to remind you to come over to the right side and lower the feed dogs. Make sure that this button is pushed in all the way so it stays indented. And if you don't lower the feed dogs, you will find that the machine will remind you and not let you embroider until then. You will also need to find your embroidery foot. Now, if you remember this little bag from before, you will notice that there is a small white box that will have the embroidery foot in it. So I've already opened up that box, but I kept it just because this is something people kind of forget, but that little foot is in here. And this is actually foot number 26. So once we get going, you do need to tell the machine that this foot is on it. And of course, make sure your dual feed has been disengaged. So I'm going to just take that off right now. You'll notice that I already have my straight stitch throat plate on, and that is something that I highly recommend as we go through all the embroidery parts and pieces. Switch over to an embroidery needle. There is some embroidery needles that came with this machine, and you'll definitely need more as you continue on. They are a sharper needle, and it is something that you need to match your needle with the fabrics you're embroidering on. Now remember your slide-on table. You will find that this is something that you can add into this open area. Now I'm not going to add it right this second because the embroidery arm is really close. But I do like this for when we are working on projects that are a little bit heavier or need a little bit more support. So I'll show you how that goes on in a little bit. We're going to do a separate video on how to actually hoop up your fabric. But just for right now, these are your basic accessories that you need to have out. You're going to need some embroidery thread and some bobbin thread and some curved embroidery scissors. So all those things will be things that I'll be using as we get started. But now that this is attached, we can start getting into how to select designs, hoop our fabric, and start embroidering.